So this win got us the 3 seed and got us matched up against Oklahoma City. I saw a lot of fans on Twitter and on the internet that were rooting against the Portland Trail Blazers. Oh, Anthony Simons, he's hitting too many shots. We need to lose this game, man, or else we're screwed. I saw so much of that. Are we really that scared of another team? Like, I'm an athlete, so when I'd go up against a Division I player, I got super excited for the challenge. I wanted to see what I could do against somebody like that. I'm excited for OKC because if we can beat OKC, we can take care of Denver or San Antonio. We can make the Western Conference Finals. And honestly, at this point, it's whether or not we'll be able to handle a trap. But OKC traps so hard, and it's such a big part of what they do, that if we finally learn how to be a trap, we'll actually be able to exploit it and use it against them. There's a lot of Blazer fans acting like OKC is going to sweep us. I don't think so. OKC's been playing terribly lately, and Blazer fans haven't witnessed it because every game we played against OKC was when they were playing great. Yes, OKC is going to be a challenge. Yes, they match up well with us, and they're a bad matchup for us, but during that comeback, I was of the mindset like, I don't care. Bring on whoever in the first round. Because how we play and how mentally prepared and tactically prepared we are is what is going to be the biggest factor for us in a postseason series. And I think playing as the underdog against the Oklahoma City Thunder when we're counted out by the national media and everybody, even Blazer fans within this fan base, Damian Lillard-led teams play well in that role. That's an extra chip on their shoulder that they probably wouldn't have had against Utah. And honestly, it'll be more rewarding to beat OKC than it would be to beat Utah just because they're OKC. Just because, we can't stand Westbrook. This is a rivalry. It's a heated rivalry, and it would be much more satisfying to beat OKC than the Jazz. But also, our reward for that wouldn't be getting spanked by the Golden State Warriors. It would be facing a team in Denver or San Antonio. And the fact that Blazer fans were moaning about the Blazers' comeback last night bothered me for all those reasons. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Game 5 recap. Now, before we get into any clips, any of the footage, I just want to say, sorry this is coming out so late. It was nice to sit back and relax for a few days and not really worry about making game recaps. It was nice that the Blazers had 6 days off, and I'm feeling fresh again, so let's go. This game did not start off well for Portland defensively. Letting PG walk straight into a wide open 3 is definitely a mistake. They got a bunch of mismatches early. Here's CJ on Jeremy Grant, who abuses him inside. I really liked this bounce pass from Aminu to Harkless on the break. That was an absolute dime. And here we go with some more good ball movement and Chief driving the lane with a great strong finish. But it just was not good for Portland defensively early on. OKC was being very methodical and getting a ton of good interior shots. And when they did shoot a 3, it was a good shooter with a wide open look like Jeremy Grant. Portland's transition defense really struggled in this entire game. And at this point, Dame hadn't had a field goal until a very tough fadeaway which really got him going. This was an absolutely insane pull-up 3 by Dame. Probably could have been a foul called and he was off balance, but he still somehow knocks it down. But OKC was still getting great looks on the other end. This is a great look for Steven Adams, and that's a pure hook shot. And then here's a perfect example of them being methodical and Paul George getting whatever he wants on the interior. And then we were switching a lot. Here you have Jeremy Grant against Damian Lillard, and Dame's teammates don't really help him that well, and Jeremy Grant gets a lay-in. Portland was switching far too much for my liking. That just meant Damian Lillard had to do a lot on the offensive end, which he did in the first half. That was a very nice step back shot. But then Portland's defense got even worse when its bench got into the game. Steven Adams scoring through Myers Leonard like he wasn't even there. On the other end, Portland's classic baseline inbounds play for a big man layup. But still, dribble penetration was destroying our defense and getting bigs like Nerlens Noel great looks inside. CJ McCollum also had 3 early fouls, and these were his only points of the first half. CJ also didn't get this foul call on the drive, and OKC got this call all game long. Some more mismatches defensively. Paul George against a guard. Anytime he's gotten that shot this series, he made it. That just meant we needed some early Dame time, and he gave it to us. this three was a very tough shot and probably should have been another and one. And then Portland switches again, and Westbrook easily gets by Zach Collins for a layup. And then even when they did play good defense, OKC was getting offensive putbacks like this one. On the other end, the only player that was consistently stepping up was Dame, to the point that he was even getting offensive putbacks. I did like this set though, posting up Rodney Hood. We definitely need to get him going against Denver as they have a better bench. He finds Collins underneath. And it was nice to see Seth Curry get going in this game, as he had been kind of absent in the previous two, and he hits a very long 2-point shot. Here we go again, going over more Dennis Schroeder pick and rolls. That just meant we needed more Dame time, and he certainly delivered, but our defense had me pulling my hair out in the first half. You cannot let Paul George get to his spots this easily. And oh look, Raymond Felton did a thing. I do really like what we did on this play. This is good for when teams are overplaying Dame. Having Dame isolated in the corner with nobody underneath the basket and dribbling towards him, allowing him to back up for an open lay-in. That's very effective if teams are trying to deny him the ball, which we saw a lot of later in this game. And first half Dame time kept us in the game, even though we had defensive possessions like this where we lazily switch and allow Jeremy Grant to get a very easy shot. And more poor defense as we have terrible closeouts, allowing a lot of easy dribble drive penetration, ending up in an open three from the corner that even Russell Westbrook can hit. And then this was a beautiful cut by Harkless to take advantage of the attention given to Kanter in the low post. This is what we got to do when teams try to load up on his low post touches. And then Curry forcing a turnover with a beautiful behind the back pass to Harkless, who scores again. However, we continued to play terrible defense as Evan Turner just lets Schroeder drive right by him for a wide open lane, and that just meant we needed Damian Lillard to be our hero, and he continued to provide. More poor Evan Turner defense as he just dies on the screen, and honestly, this dude was terrible in this series. That just meant we needed Dame to provide us with more miracles like this. That probably should have been the third and 1-3 he got in this game, and the refs gave him none. And then this recap would not be complete without an automatic Steven Adams floater. As I said, OKC was getting whatever they wanted offensively, which meant we just needed Dame to continue to step up time and time again. That right there was an insanely tough finish by him. And then here's an insanely easy run out for us that he somehow misses, and then he doesn't get back on D. Portland gets a wide open three for Curry, who knocks it down, and after playing terribly, Portland is in front. And then after being stagnant all game and heavily relying on Dame to bail them out, this was actually really good ball movement from the Blazers, resulting in a Curry open jump shot. It was really nice to see Seth get going a little bit. We're gonna need him in the second round. Dame for 37? Nah, it rattles out. He only had 34 for the half, but Kanter puts it back, and his offensive boards were huge all game long. His production is also why I'm a little bit worried about his shoulder, but he shouldn't miss time in the second round. The dude's a warrior, and he played through it in Game 5 and was still effective. And then this was a very tough buzzer beater by Paul George, so of course he hits it. He had a shot a lot like this at the end of the third quarter in Game 4 from the corner. And then at this point of the video, I'm running out of words to describe what Damian Lillard was doing. It was Herculean. There you go. And then Kanter drawing a lot of attention in the low post again. CJ hits a very tough shot, which was nice to see after he only had 2 points in the first half. And this was actually really good defense from CJ, just a better shot by Westbrook. And then this was a great transition offense from the Thunder to throw it inside and back out all in one transition play was impressive. But after a couple of good minutes of defense to start the third, Portland's defense started to deteriorate again. Poor transition defense, and then here Russell Westbrook basically just moves CJ out of the way like he wasn't even there. I've been talking about rejecting the screen all series long. Here Dame does it again, collapses the entire defense, gets a great wide open look for Chief. And again, another defensive possession with little to no resistance from the Blazers, but Portland was hanging tough. Here, OKC doesn't give Kanter the same defensive attention as they were earlier in the game, and he makes him pay. And finally, a good defensive possession by CJ and Mo, leading to a transition opportunity for the Blazers. We did not see enough of this in Game 5, due mostly to Portland not playing good defense. defense. And then this surprised me, as this inbounds play rarely gets that option underneath the hoop open for a layup, but OKC blows their coverage. And at this point, Portland is up 6 after what could easily be called a poor performance, and they're looking to build on momentum, and Dame does by hitting a step back 3 and sending the Moda Center crowd into a frenzy. At this point, many thought Portland was going to pull away with this game, but then OKC made a huge run. You can't give Paul George 2 wide open looks at the 3, as he'll likely make the second one. Here he does. And then Dame gets flattened on yet another Steven Adams screen, and Schroeder gets a bucket because of it. Jerami Grant was OKC's best 3-point shooter this series, especially from the corner, and then this was a very good move by Paul George to free some space, and OKC at this point was rolling. Even Russell Westbrook got in on the action with some 3-pointers. And then I don't know how this is not an offensive foul, but it wasn't called, and at this point OKC's making a run and has the lead back. Portland's offense had dissolved into a lot of one-on-one action and was relying heavily on Enes Kanter to put back all of its misses. And then to start the fourth, another Russell Westbrook 3, and as I've said in a previous recap, in transition sometimes you just have to get who's closest. Collins fails to do this. Schroeder gets a wide open 3, and then going over, Schroeder pick and rolls once again, letting him get to his favorite spot. And then OKC just simply leaks out, and Portland commits a very bad foul and doesn't stop them from getting the layup. It turns into an and one, and all of a sudden Portland is down 15. But after hitting rock bottom, Portland has their best offensive possession of the entire series. That's how you move the ball to be a trapping defense. And the Blazers did what they needed to do by getting good quick shots. CJ with a floater with 15 on the clock, and then Maurice Harkless leaking out for a fast break dunk. Good quick scores is how you come back from a large deficit in a little bit amount of time. And then Harkless, another dunk, and Portland has cut the deficit from 15 down to 9. And then I think the refs thought Kanter bobbled this, but I honestly think he did end up traveling and getting away with it. And then Dame coming down and hitting another 3-point shot to bring the deficit all the way down to 5. After reigniting some hope in the Moda Center crowd, Russell Westbrook tries to take it away by hitting another 3-point shot. And then this was very good defense on PG. He just hit a very tough shot. So at this point, Portland is down 6 with under 2 minutes left, and then CJ takes over. Here he hits a floater. Next possession he scored, it's not shown, and then the very next possession he ends up hitting a pull-up on Paul George. That's 6 straight points from CJ to bring the Blazers all the way back to tie the game. And then under 45 seconds left, this is poor defense by Portland. You cannot give PG this much space from this close, especially this late in the game. But Dame makes up for the bad defense and bails out the team once again with a very tough hanging finish through 3 defenders to tie the game. And then after a very poor defensive performance by Portland, Al-Farouq Aminu plays the best defense of the entire game by stonewalling Russell Westbrook at the rim, giving Portland a chance to win the game. And we all know what happened after that.
Timeout. Lillard, a chance to send the Thunder home. Lillard, long-range 3. It's good! The buzzer! Damian Lillard! Are you kidding me?
And with that historic shot by Damian Lillard that might go down as one of the top 10 shots in NBA history, Portland is able to exercise some of its demons and make it out of the first round. They finally were able to have some success against the trapping defense in the postseason, and Terry Stotts proved something to me. If you want more reaction onto how this series wrapped up, make sure to watch the video that I posted a few days ago right after this happened, which was my raw reaction, unfiltered, didn't really edit the audio, and I gave my thoughts on just every single storyline that's led up to the point where the Portland Trail Blazers are right now. I will have 1, maybe 2 preview videos for this Denver Nuggets series, but it's a quick turnaround. Nuggets won last night, and now we play them tomorrow night on Monday, so I can't believe that the second round is almost here, and it's a second round that I actually feel like we have a decent chance to win, and I've never been able to say that before as a young fan who's only 22 years old. So anyway, true Blazer fans, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and with that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Go Blazers.